Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. It is Chris Key Rollins here, bringing you this week's energy update. And it is Thursday, October the 31st. So happy Halloween to all of you Halloween celebratory people out there. And yes, it's intense times, it's crazy times. We are in Scorpio season. We just had a new moon, and Mercury turned retrograde today. And what does all that mean? What does it mean about you? What does it mean about the world around you? And how is this energy going to be affecting you? Or how has it been affecting you? So we can help to make sense of some of what's been happening. So here is what is on my heart to share. Scorpio season. We tipped the scales from Libra over to Scorpio about a week ago. And Scorpio season. Scorpio season. How shall we talk about Scorpios? I have a Scorpio moon. I was raised by a Scorpio mother. I have a lot of love for Scorpios, and they're not the easiest to love. Scorpio season isn't a big, warm, fluffy bunny that you can just run and cuddle with. Scorpio season doesn't work that way. Scorpio doesn't work that way at all, quite frankly. Scorpio is about the taboo. Scorpio is about finding the beauty within the darkness. So where other signs may pull us towards the light and towards the feel good, Scorpio drags us right into facing what it is that you're afraid of, that you're worried about, that you're scared lies behind the scenes, so that you can face it head on and liberate yourself from the power that it has over you. So while it invites us in for some really, really deep, powerful healing opportunities, it's going to come with challenges. It's going to look a bit overwhelming, a little bit dark, and the word sinister comes to my mind just because we're judging it from the outside. When I think of Scorpio, Scorpio is a water sign. I think of still, flat, non-moving, dark water. That kind of dark water that you don't know what lies underneath the surface. You don't know if there's anything happening underneath the surface, quite frankly, but it is dark, it is still, it is giving away nothing. It is not going to make it easy for you. That's what I think about when I think about Scorpio. Still, calm, dark water. You don't know if it's safe to dive in. You don't know if it's safe to just go swimming underneath the surface. You don't know what lies underneath the surface. You don't know if you're going to be hit with trouble as soon as you dive underneath the surface. But what it brings to you is the mysterious. It is the coming face to face with that stuff that we try to steer away from. We like things safe. We like things cozy. We like things expected. We like to know what's around the corner. That's how us humans tend to relax. Hey, Raquel, so great to see you on here. But Scorpio invites us to come to touch with the darkness, the more shadowed spots. And we have this preconceived notion that darkness and shadow spots means bad stuff, but it doesn't. It just means the unknown, the yet to be revealed, that there's more that's lying underneath the surface. And that's what this season is all about. Tapping into what is lying underneath the surface, getting connected with those parts that you keep trying to push away so that you can understand all they want to do is love you. All that they want to do is support you. All that they want to do is have your trust and your loyalty, because that's what Scorpios are all about. We're extremely trustworthy. We're very loyal. And that causes us to come across kind of like jealous and bitter and hurt if we aren't recognized, if we're not acknowledged, if we're not seen as having equal worth and value as the more flashy, easy to love, easy to see the outward appearance as being something that's, delightful. So Scorpio is not about not being delightful. It's not about not feeling good and being amongst pleasure. It's just understanding that in order to really feel good, in order to really be in that pleasure, you got to get over the stuff that you keep trying to skirt around and don't want to look at, because you got to take all of it. And that's what Scorpio is going to bring to us, an opportunity to get in touch with, to make peace with, to befriend, and to fall in love with the darker sides of things. So in order to do that, what's it going to look like? It's going to look like your stuff coming up to surface. It's going to look like those fears, those concerns coming to the surface. It's going to look like that is happening in the physical surroundings. But now that you know this is Scorpio season, it's not for you to freak out and just assume that there's a monster lying underneath the surface just because you can't see. But it also doesn't mean run and dive in head first. It means be smart, because Scorpios are very intellectual, extremely intellectual, depths of intellect. So be smart and thoughtful before running ahead and just diving in, and take time to connect, to explore, to get to know, to befriend, and to ask questions, because Scorpio is underneath the surface. It's not going to be forthcoming. It's not going to bubble up and say, well, this is what I was thinking, and this is what I was doing, and this is where I'm coming from, or this is how you hurt me. Scorpio doesn't do that. Scorpio keeps it underneath the surface, brewing, festering. And whenever you're brave enough to dip a toe into it, to stick your hand underneath the surface, that's where you get all the richness, all the fullness, all the depth that Scorpio can bring to the table. So this is what's interesting. We just passed a new moon. New moon energy is about creative creation, creative expression. So we just have the energy ramping up for creative expression. It is under the energy of Scorpio season. So that taboo, getting in touch with the darkness, bringing the love and light into the more dark taboo places, bringing love to the areas that we typically shun and push away. That's what this is all about, right? As that couples with Mercury going into retrograde, which just happened today. And again, I'm not an expert astrologer. If you want to know all the ins and outs about what all this stuff means, go find an expert astrologer. I'm here to help to interpret what the astrologers are bringing to the table over into this human realm so that we can make some sense of it, make it super practical and tangible, right? So Mercury going into retrograde. Mercury is the planet that rules communication. So the energy of Mercury rules communication. So whenever Mercury goes into retrograde, which just means it starts going in the opposite direction, what that does is that it disrupts our communications. So you may find over the next handful of days, while Mercury is in retrograde, you may find technology not working as efficiently as possible. Text messages getting lost, emails not following through, systems crashing, computers going down, things not working. Like you hit a button yesterday and it worked. Today you hit the button, it's just not going to work. Now, what typically happens when things start to go awry is that we freak out. It's what we do as a people, right? But the beautiful gift about Mercury retrograde, its gift is that when things start to go awry, you actually get the opportunity to relive past experiences or current day experiences that are similar to past experiences that you still have unresolved energy around. Unreconciled energy is the way that I talk about it, because I think all upheavals and all contrast, all that friction and agitation that happens within us, that it is just an opportunity to reconcile back to your wholeness, to your complete self. Hey, Michelle, so glad to see you're here. I just got the comments to pop up. So yeah, already happening. It's already underway. There's already communication errors. There's already technology errors. It's already been happening. This stuff's going on all the time. So in the past, if you tend to freak out whenever you hit send on that email and it doesn't go anywhere, or you can't find something that you archived, or you can't send out that email list, or you go onto your Facebook group and all the content's been deleted, whatever that thing is, that Mercury retrograde thing that happens, you're going to run into experiencing something like you did in the past. And the gift of it is not just, well, great, here's a whole big pile of poop for you to sort your way through again. Ha, 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 take it again. It instead is an opportunity for you to do things different, for you to handle things different, for you to make different choices and to create a different outcome this time around facing the same kind of experience. So if you're one that typically freaks out, maybe chill out. Maybe take a deep breath. If you're one that panic and starts to like reinvent the wheel whenever everything crashes, maybe you take a break and you realize that it's okay. It's okay. If you needed it, it would still be there. or some other way of looking at the situation so that you can just make a different choice. So Scorpio season is here to help you get in touch with the beautiful, beautiful darkness that lies within you. It's going to give you an opportunity to come face to face with your fears. This Mercury retrograde is going to ramp that energy up even more. So as you're coming face to face with your fears, you're going to have an opportunity to make a different choice and set forth a different course of events moving forward. And it really depends your level of resistance to this process or your level of acceptance to this process will determine how disruptive this process is for you. So if you're starting to feel the disruption, remember that we had this conversation. Remember that this is what's happening. Start to see how is what I'm going through right now similar to something that I've been through in the past, and how can I make different choices here now in the current day in order to set forth a different outcome on the other side. Hey, Erica, welcome. And start to have a different experience of yourself within yourself as you go through whatever Scorpio season is going to bring your way. All right. Now, if you're interested in finding out more about your own personal astrology chart, I do a mini video interpretation of what your birth chart is. I can do it for you. I can do it for your partner or for your child. Anything that helps to bring insight to your own personality and the personalities that you have to deal with on a regular basis and interact with on a regular basis. Super helpful to let you understand their decision making, what their default way of thinking is, so that you can start to have clearer, more effective communication. I just did this for one of my clients the other day, and she wrote me back saying that it was just really awesome because she doesn't know where to begin with any of it. So whenever she downloads like a free chart online, it's just overwhelming information. But to be able to decipher that information, have it in a nice little nutshell that she can go back and revisit over and over again, she found a lot of value in that. So if that's something of value to you, reach out to me. I can help you out with that. And I'm going to pull a card to make today's energy update complete. Okay, I'm going to pull cards different. I was already being told. Pull them different. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to see what is coming forth for us today. And it's this beauty right here. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I'm not going to give anything away, but after you finish watching this, hop over to the Conscious Success community. I'm going to drop a link below so that you can find it. Because this card is showing up in the more in-depth spread. I'm not going to tell you what position, but this card showed up in the more in-depth spread as well. So I know that it's an important message that's coming forward, and I'm pretty excited to have it coming forward after the conversation that we just had. This is card number 29, Lemuria Returns. Lemuria Returns. You can see a pregnant merbabe here in the picture with her tail wrapped up around the back of her. And this card represents earthy spirituality, community, ocean conservation. Now, what does this have to do with our day-to-day life and the conversation that we just had? Earthy spirituality, community, ocean conservation. So whenever the mermaids talk about water, or whenever they talk about the ocean, what they're talking about is the ocean of emotions that is inside of us. And what this card is asking us to do is to connect to our ancient ancestral wisdom that is passed on generation to generation to generation just by being innate human intelligent beings. So this innate ancient wisdom that is passed down generation to generation is asking to come forth and to be present in our lives right now, today, which is why this card is coming forward. And what this is to remember that there is more wisdom, more lineage, more history, more intelligence that we can lean on. It goes beyond our own individual experience, and that our individual experience is just the unfolding of this, the current day unfolding of this experience that started a very long time ago by other people who paved the way for you to be here today. So this energy, this utopian energy, Lemuria was a civilization that took place. It was actually the founding civilization that started Atlantis. So in Lemuria, everything, it was a utopian society. There was balance, there was peace, there was harmony, there was this, that energy of light and dark that I was talking about that comes along with Scorpio. All of that, there was no taboo. There was no taboo because everything was and wasn't exactly what it needed to be and not needed to be at the same time. This exact perfect Lemurian utopian society. So we have done it before as a people. We can return to that. And that's what this healing, the shifting that we're going through as a people is actually leading us towards the next enlightenment, the next expansion, the next harmony and balancing in our lives. And we don't do it by what we're doing today. We do it by leaning on this ancient wisdom and looking to the past in a very authentic way, in a very community-based way, in order to bring that wisdom here and birth forth a new way of being in the current day. All right, join me over in the Conscious Success community for a more in-depth spread. Let me know if you can relate to this. Are you a Scorpio? Do you have Scorpios in your life? Has this Scorpio season been showing up the way that I described it so far? And how do Mercury retrogrades affect you? Are you familiar with this already? Do you have any great tips on what to do to fortify yourself and to ride the waves while Mercury's doing its thing and disrupting all of our communications? All right, I love you. Thanks for being here and watching. So be sure, if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, that you subscribe and like the video and pass it along and share it. I appreciate you passing it along, and I will see you again next time. Bye.